all societies continue to be influenced by the patriarchal beliefs that normalize gender discrimination and violence, unfortunately. In Jamaica, 1 in 5 women have faced sexual violence and harassment, and nearly 40% actually have experienced some form of intimate partner violence. These alarming numbers mean that our actions must be multi-layered and responses must come from many levels. In October, we opened our first state-run shelter for victims of domestic violence, a very significant achievement actually, because we need and we recognize that there needs to be a safe space for women who, in the moments when they are faced with significant trauma, usually of very violent acts against them, they need to know that there could be a safe space to escape. And so the plan is to have one of each of these in every parish and so forth. We have 14 parishes, and we launched the very first one in October of this year. So a significant accomplishment. We also have the Spotlight Initiative, which is another example of a collaboration in Jamaica, actually with the European Union, that is dedicated to combating family violence, and which includes domestic violence, intimate partner violence, child abuse, and corporal punishment. And this sets out to actually effect change in the laws, individual behavior, and societal norms around these issues, and to strengthen the delivery of essential services to the victims. The Spotlight Initiative approaches family violence as a major public health and sustainable development issue, and we fully, wholeheartedly recognize this as such. Our work is not done. In the Caribbean, we are committed to building back together and building back better from the impacts of COVID-19, which we know significantly also affects the female gender in very significant ways, because almost every instance where there is violence before pre-COVID, it is significantly increased since COVID. And so we recognize that our COVID response must be very gender sensitive, and ending violence against women and girls needs to be at the heart of this response. During the COVID pandemic, it is more important than ever for us to join forces and unite and continue the dialogue to ensure that anyone experiencing gender violence knows how to access support. And we here in Jamaica, we actually have launched COVID hotlines, but separate and apart from that, we have launched gender violence hotlines where women and men, we actually have a hotline dedicated to the male population, who also do experience some sort of gender-based violence. But we have specific dedicated hotlines for victims of domestic violence, male and female. We also have suicide hotlines. And so we ensure and we encourage that persons, especially during these COVID times when these instances are so much more prevalent, that they utilize these services. Standing up to violence against women and girls is ultimately a collective responsibility. Everyone has a role to play in its prevention. Whenever we hear remarks or jokes that diminish women or trivializes the attitudes towards women, we need to speak up, whether it is in our neighborhoods or even in our Zoom meetings. We need to recognize that the behavior comes from the thinking, and we must make effort to change this thinking when we have a chance. This is especially important for men who are powerful role models in our communities and to our children. So they especially must help to build societies that uphold the rights of women and have a zero tolerance of violence against any and everyone. And as a representative for Jamaica in this ParlAmericas forum, I encourage and enable all Jamaicans, all Caribbean people, and definitely globally, we must unite to end violence against women. Thank you.